In this example, we have 2 times the quantity of 3x plus 8. And we're going to view this as 3x and a positive 8. Now, in this problem, we have a coefficient with the variable x. When we're multiplying the 2 to the 3x, we're going to multiply the 2 with the 3 first, then combining it with the x. So 2 times 3x is going to be 6x, and then 2 times a positive 8 is going to be plus 16. All right. Now, let's do some subtraction problems. Let's say we have 4 times 3x minus 5. Again, we have a coefficient with x, and this is really a negative 5. So 4 times 3 is 12, making that 12x. 4 times a negative 5 gives us a negative 20. Or you could read this as 12x minus 20. Whoops, didn't mean to write 4 there. In our next problem, instead of multiplying by a whole number, let's multiply by a fraction and then a decimal. In this example, we have 1/2 times x plus 4. Again, we're multiplying 1/2 to x and a positive 4. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. And then 1/2 times a positive 4 is going to give us a positive answer. So I'm going to write plus. And we're going to have 1/2 times 4 over 1. Remember, with fractions and multiplying, we can reduce if we can, and then we'll multiply across. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. That's going to give me 2 over 1, or 2. And so when I simplify it, it becomes 1/2 x plus 2. Before we do a division example, let's have some fractions within our parentheses. Let's say we have 8 times the quantity of 1/2 x plus 1/4. So we're multiplying the 8 to the 1/2 x and the positive 1/4. When I rewrite this, I'm going to have 8 times 1/2 x. So 8 over 1 times 1/2, and we could put them in parentheses like this. Basically, this means we're going to multiply first and then associate that with the x. Then we have 8 over 1 times 1/4, or 1/4, yeah. 2 goes into 8 4 times. So we're going to have 4x plus, and 4 goes into 8 2 times, 2. 4x plus 2. Now, you probably could have worked this problem out in your head. These are pretty simple fractions to multiply, but I wanted to show you how we're doing the multiplication in case you see fractions in which are a little harder and you're not able to do them in your head. Let's look at an example with some decimals. Here we have 100 times the quantity of 0.5 or 5/10 x plus 0.25 or 25 hundredths. Whenever you're multiplying by a power of 10, we're really just going to be moving the decimal place over either to the right or to the left. Since this is a positive number, it's a whole number, I'm going to move my decimal place over to the right 2 places. So 100 times 5/10 of an x, or 0.5x, is going to give me 50x. And then 100 times a positive 25 hundredths, that's going to give me plus 25. If I have, say, 10 times 1.3x minus 0.6, I'm just going to be moving the decimal place over 1 space to the right. So this becomes 13x minus 6.